Well, another day, another sign of dullness, and another sign of some hopeful potential. Alright, but first things first, getting this out of the way, we're not going to be covering the third episode of Beast Morphers yet since it didn't air last Sunday, so I've got nothing to review on that part, so we're just going to be sticking to Zio episode 28 and Ryusoulger episode 2, so off we go. Alright, as what happened last time, Black Waz now has the power of Kamen Rider Waz, but even with that, he knows he's not going to be able to take on Gates now he has the power of Gates Revive. But considering the drawbacks to that power-up, he knows he doesn't have to. As long as he keeps showing up and badgering Gates into fighting using that form, he knows the strain is going to kill him one way or another, with the strain on the body and all that. And speaking of the Kamen Rider Waz, Chuck is not exactly happy that his powers got stolen. And this coupled with seeing Ur backing up another Zio, he goes and basically just manhandles the little pissant and interrogates him to figure out well, what the hell. Yeah, he's not exactly happy that Ur's basically backstabbing Schwartz and giving some aid to another Zio. And yeah, basically he's just trying to figure out why that is. And well, yeah, basically is not trusting Chuck or Schwartz. Since, well, yeah, aside from the whole another Kikai incident, creating another Zio. Okay, actually, wait, I don't exactly remember why Chuck was so pissed with Oh yeah, basically he figures that is collaborating with Black Waz to basically stop him, to prevent him from bringing about Gates Revive. But we actually get a bit of a bombshell here. It turns out that Chuck is not exactly who he says he is. Yeah, he's not from the Gates Revive timeline apparently, and mostly because he said it doesn't matter who triumphs on Oma Day. Yeah, whether it's Gates Revive that kills Sogo before he becomes Oma Zio, Sogo kills Gates and becomes Oma Zio, or another Zio just kills both of them. It honestly doesn't. He says it doesn't matter to him or their plans, or anyway, our plans. Yeah, it's revealed that later in the episode that apparently Chuck was working with Schwartz this whole time behind and Ora's back. And yeah, speaking of, it's all but confirmed that Schwartz was the one responsible for creating Omazio. Since, yeah, he, like we said before, he dragged all those kids, including Sogo and Hiru, to the future of Oma Day, where the Daimajin were running around destroying everything. And of those kids, only Sogo seemed to display, well, basically any form of power. He actually managed to stop time in the same way that the Time Jackers are actually able to stop time in order to prevent some debris from falling on an unconscious Hiru. So yeah, Schwartz then does something to him, like projecting some weird glowing thing. Basically, I'm guessing it was some sort of psychic form of indoctrination or something like that to basically imprint the thought and reoccurring dream in his head of him becoming Omazio. Again, we have no idea why Schwartz is doing this, why he's created the Time Jackers, created the Another Riders, all but created Omazio. We have no idea what exactly he's doing here, and yeah, even, Sogo / Omazio are potentially just pawns in a much bigger game. Especially since, yeah, that's basically that's one of the reasons why Tsukasa is actually still traipsing around this world and interfering. He's still on the trying to flip-flop as to whether or not, to destroy this world, basically to prevent the creation of Omazio. He's basically just flip-flopping whether or not Sogo actually should be destroyed or if there's a chance to save him. He's incredibly vague on this. He just seems to be doing things just to do things. He's basically the Joker at this point. Although, yeah, well, we got the resolution on that. And yeah, going back to and another Zio for a second, they basically another Zio has basically been running around attacking people and creating new Another Riders, and not actually basically recreating previous Another Riders, save for of course another Shinobi, another Kikai, another Quiz, and another Ryuga. Oh yeah, and also he hasn't been recreating another Kuga, another Double, or another Deno since, Well, okay, I have no idea why he did recreate those other riders, especially since they already have the ride watches. But apparently, Heisei Generations Forever is a non-canon story according to Shirakura. Yeah, no, 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 no. You can't try and pull that card now. Again, I'm saving that until we get to the until I actually review Heisei Generations Forever on my blog, actual proper written review and deconstructing that sucker. But yeah, he's basically been going around recreating another writers to go and basically have it out with Sogo once and for all, who he still blames as the one responsible for getting his family killed. Even though young Sogo still tried to save him, but then again he was unconscious at the time, so whatever. But yeah, his argument still stands that if Sogo didn't exist, his family wouldn't be dead, and that's still kind of true. But then again, Schwartz would have attacked that bus anyway, and he probably would have just focused his ire on someone else if they displayed the power instead of Sogo. So whatever. And yeah, after managing to get away from another ZO and his recreated gang of another riders, Sogo finally meets up with Gates for their supposed final showdown. But really, they just end up fighting off against another ZO and his army of another riders. At which, yeah, since they still have the ride watches for them, they just go and clear the board of that, no problem. And then they finally go and apparently they're still best friends, but basically Gates is Gates, if he really wanted to kill Sogo and prevent Omazio, he probably would have just let another Zio just go on and just smack the ever loving tar out of him. But apparently he's going for a whole he's my best friend, only I can kill him thing, which is so schizophrenic and just basically, he's still remembering the words that Sogo told him before, that if he and Tsukiyomi think that he's on the verge of becoming another Omazio, then kill him. You have my permission to kill you. Back in a couple episodes ago. But yeah, Gates is starting to come around that based on what he's seen before, how Sogo handles himself. Yeah, basically he's been following what I've been suggesting, that he won't become Omazio as long as we're around to make sure that that doesn't happen. Basically just long story short, basically nothing happens. Except that Hiro gets his ass kicked, and we still see the Zo another ride watch still. It wasn't destroyed. So yeah, Hiro's most likely to be popping up again at some point and still be the final trump card for the Time Jackers, especially since, as we see for the previews in the next episode, they're going to be going back to their original strategy and creating new and other riders. But that's for later. And yeah, the most interesting thing about this episode is that it's revealed that, Chuck, again, White Waz for those who don't know my nickname for him, is, still working with Schwartz and will defer to him from now on for whatever weird agenda that they have. Even though, actually, I don't remember if we ever got Schwartz's input or comments on White Wasp first showing up in the first place. I mean, oh no wait, he was the one who created another Shinobi, and he seems surprised. So, what is this? Is more retcons or whatever? No wait, they're just making this shit up as they go along, aren't they? We're just making all this shit up. Oh, what? You're the only one who gets to make shit up? That's basically what the show's doing. It's just making crap up as it goes along and expects us to get it. So, oh yeah, and spoilers for the next episode to definitely draw my ire. The focus for this time is on Kamen Rider Blade, Kazuma Kanzaki. Yeah, apparently, from what we've seen in the next episode, it's hinted that, Amane, the little girl who is always hanging around Hajime, aka Kamen Rider Chalice from that show, apparently Amane is going to become another Blade, and Hajime is going to have to defend her. Although, again, let's rewind the clock here and restate what the show said about the creation of Another Riders. When Another Rider is created, their villain faction is erased from history to prevent any more horrific disasters And remember, Hajime was originally the Joker Undead, aka the final boss of Blade. And so, with another Blade created, all of the undead, the Blade Riders villain faction should be gone, including Hajime, but we see him as Kamen Rider Chalice. And again, for those who haven't seen it, Hajime, aka the Joker undead, how he's able to transform into Hajime, he uses the human undead card to transform into a human. And the man and Kamen Rider Chalice, that's actually the true form of the Mantis undead that Hajime uses. But we see both Hajime and Kenzaki in their rider forms, while apparently another Blade is running around. And please do not give me the excuse of, oh, they're immune to the effects of time travel. No, they are undead. Both Hajime and Kenzaki are undead. So that doesn't mean that they're exempt from the effects of time manipulation. We have not seen anything to go along with that. Oh, and also next time we're going to be seeing the return of Kaito Daiki, aka Kamen Rider The End. So I figured that if Tsukasa was running around, Kaito's got to be showing up at some point, and just like with Tsukasa, Kaito's got himself a new DN driver. So we'll see. Well, we'll just see how that nonsense plays out. And anyways, moving on to Ryusoulger Episode 2. Yeah, well, Ui, who, that annoying vlogger girl who is, basically just popped into the Ryusoulger's village uninvited. Yeah, she's sticking around as the main supporting cast / comic relief. Yeah, she's even provided the Ryusoulgers a place to stay, along with her archaeologist dad, who are basically going to help locate the temples that the other Kishiryu have gone into stasis in. And we finally figure out why the Druidons have come back to Earth after so long. Yeah, you remember that green mushroom sentient pile of Nickelodeon slime I was telling you about, Creon? I think that's what her name is. Anyways, yeah, they came back because they had thanks to her, they figured out how to create their own Minosaurs for basically to continue their conquest schemes. Before, I'm not exactly sure how they were able to create the Minosaurs, but now that they have Creon, they could just create as many Minosaurs as they want and thus give them their army. And we learned where the Minosaurs got their name from, since they're apparently created from the minus emotions of humans. So yeah, basically like the Unversed from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. They're basically a person's negative emotions given physical form. And we see that with this fencer guy, forget his name, who Creon basically just drops some this Nickelodeon slime in his mouth, and it creates the Unicorn Minosaur, much like with the Yummies from Kamen Rider O's, they act on these negative emotions that drive them in their obsessions. Actually, no wait, less Unversed and more like the Shadows from Persona 5. Yeah, that's a better comparison. They're basically like the Palace Ruler Shadows from Persona 5 in that they act on their host's negative desires. In the Unicorn Minosaur's case, his creator was striving to become the #1 fencer in Japan, so the Unicorn Minosaur has basically been growing in negative emotions to basically literally kill the competition. Yeah, kill #1, and #2 gets a boost in rank. Yeah, they all die, and we all move up in rank. Yeah, basically that mentality. And yeah, they would be and another thing, when Creon says that he was whatever was growing these new Minosaurs, they mean literally. As they continually absorb these negative emotions from their host, the Minosaurs actually grow on their own. So there's no, at least so far, no impetus. Basically they just grow on their own as the show goes on. And if the Ryusoulgers don't stop the Minosaurs in time, their the hosts that they're born from, die. So yeah, nice little way to add in a ticking clock to add tension there, guys. Actually, yeah, no, really good. I like that. And and again, points to the Ryusoulger for actually managing to attack, actually having the willingness to attack the Unicorn Minosaur without any of the Kishiryu, especially Tiramigo, whom our new Red has basically taken to nicknaming him Tiramigo. yeah, they've been spending most of the episode trying to track Tiramigo down, who apparently just decided to just crash at a zoo or something like that. And so yeah, before they actually get to that, they act. Let's see, Blue and Pink. Let's see, Asuna and Mellow. I think they're called again. Still learning these names. They've basically been trying to hold off the unicorn from actually accomplishing its goal. So yeah, I don't think we've actually seen a Sentai team actually attack a giant monster without the aid of their mechs in a long, long time. I actually don't really remember them doing that in a recent series. Let's see. Well, I mean, again, there was that whole thing with Lupin, with the Pata Rangers attacking that last Chimera that Ghost made, but that wasn't like the main draw of the fight. It was just them drawing fire. But yeah, actually attacking a giant monster without the aid of a mech, and only the second episode, no less. That's got some points in your favor. And even better, once they actually do manage to get Tiramigo up and at him, it actually gets his big dino ass kicked. Yeah, proving that they still have a long way to go, and that these villains actually have some bite to them. Yeah, usually when you like summon the megas, like, no problem. But no, not this time. They'll probably get this better once Kishiryu all gets all of its equipment and whatnot, or at least for the other two. Or let's see, from Asuna and Mellow's Kishiryu. But again, it actually shows that there's actual tension in the fights instead of it just being an automatic win button. So yeah, and yeah, Tiramigo actually has a standalone battle form, which, okay, let me think. Yeah, I think I haven't seen since. Ooh, let me see here. Yeah, it has a standalone battle form that I don't think we've seen since Ryusei back in Die Ranger all those years ago. But yeah, another thing that we've been missing from Sentai, when we actually see him, Kishiryu fight against the unicorn Minosaur, we actually see like footprints and like stomping and actual debris rising up from the fight, even though he's Kishiryu is acting is moving so fast. Again, adding actual weight to how big these things are, and yeah, it's just the little details, but it does help. Yeah, when you see this sort of stuff and actually kind of tend to realize how much you missed it. Never appreciate it until it's gone. You know what I mean? But all in all, it's still a standard episode, and aside from some questionable tactics with basically a power up that again basically acts as a fart, but again, at least it doesn't. At least it's not. Well, it's kind of more like that other fart kind of weapon thing from Kyoryuger, where it's not presented as a fart, and it doesn't make it. It's basically just kind of more like a projectile stink bomb. And yeah, it actually is used to help to go and actually stop the at least it can actually be used as, basically kind of like tear gas with a little bit of a comic twist there. But again, they're not making it like, hey, we just knocked you out with farting, which, again, having dealt with the Neo Saban era with their constant reliance on flatulence humor, is ironically kind of a breath of fresh air that they don't draw attention to it in that respect. So yeah, basically Zio is looking like with Zio it's one step forward, two steps back with it, and Ryusoulger looks like it's actually moving forward. Especially since next episode we're gonna finally get Black and Green on the team. Although apparently there's gonna be a bit of a rivalry going on there. We'll see how things play out. So short and sweet today, and I guess that's it for this week. Next week we'll deal with the return of Kaito and the introduction of another blade, and the last two Ryusoulgers, and whatever's going on in Beast Morphers. So see ya, bye bye.